Okay, guys, this is Brandon from 13 Market Moves. How are you? Twice in one day, I guess. All right, the topic right now is we're going to be talking about Moderna, mRNA, and the topic is short the pop and sell the news on Pfizer. So we all know that Pfizer vaccine news should be shorted with mRNA as the choice of trade right here. Ignore the analyst earnings estimates on mRNA and them guiding it higher. They've been doing this all year long based on our research. And so I want to share with you what we found and why we should short the crap out of this temporary bounce on Pfizer news. And I want you to understand that these vaccine news are not a game changer for COVID or anything else in between. Okay. And this is why every time news comes out on vaccines, whether it's Regeneron, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, or Moderna, or Novavax, or whatever, they all get sold. And I want to prove to you how that is and how you should use this opportunity to short the crap out of mRNA. So let's move right here. So here is one of the biggest reasons why we are bearish on mRNA currently. Okay, number one, mRNA insiders have been selling every time the stock has hit above the upper Bollinger Band level, and I will show you the proof of that on the technical analysis that we're going to see. Also, NPR is no slouch. Okay, they're very reputable news agency that basically has been since September 4th. This is an article from September 4th, 2020. There's plenty of articles if you want to Google or do your own news research on the practices of Moderna. And so it has raised my eyebrows a little bit at this point. However, they're raising eyebrows about the fact that Moderna executives are basically selling stocks at key technical levels. It's almost like they're day trading, right? Here's the thing, and you can look at the director's sales, but I just wanted to basically point out to you what the CEO, Stephen Bancel, has been doing at key moments in stocks. And look at from October through September, he has been on a selling spree. For a company that is less than 10 years old, doesn't have any pipeline, is bleeding cash. Generally, having come from a molecular genetics background, I don't want to get into my own background, but I can tell you that I have a physician background and I also have a PhD in molecular genetics, and I'm very familiar with these practices in biotechnology. In general, this is a cash grab. Because this eventually, not everybody's going to need everybody's vaccines. And I will also go into why Moderna probably has the weakest pipeline position. They just have a lot of good, they just have a very good optics PR. And that's something that we need to basically take into account of. But let's go back into here. We need to show that basically since Q3 of 2019, there's been a spate of selling. Now, this Q2 this year, remember, this is for August, okay? And they've been selling into good news, and they're still continuous selling into Q3. And this is pretty significant. When you look here on the insider buying and selling, okay, there are some buyers, but look at this. For a company with a just under a 1 billion in market cap, that's some significant selling in the last 12 months. Yeah, I mean, I guess I gotta give some credit here that this is how a lot of the top executives and directors are compensated in companies like this. And so I'm not really worried about them selling stocks in a way. What I am worried about is what I'm going to show you, what happens on the technical chart next. Okay, so here's the Moderna. Here to the left is our daily, and here's the weekly. The problem with Moderna is that a lot of these coincide right at or near the time at which the insiders are beginning to sell. It's when we breach this dotted line is the upper band of the Bollinger Band. And if you don't know something about Bollinger Band, click the link below and schedule a 20-minute consultation with our traders to find out why this is important. But regardless, anytime there's a major breach, it ensues. There's basically insider selling going on. Okay, every time here at September, remember when we go back and look at the time at which the CEO's been selling and the directors have been selling, it's usually within these times right here. from September to the October periods. Every time the stock wants to go out and the analysts are singing praises of it, insiders are selling, and henceforth it leads to these type of sell-offs. Again, the other thing that's interesting to note is that I believe these are bona fide real buys, but they're not coming from the insiders or anything else. But it gets quickly sold off by the insiders. And I believe that there is some insider selling going on. Now, having said that, is there a possibility of this stock moving higher in the next couple of days? Absolutely. And in fact, I've pegged this to go up. You can see that sequentially it's getting higher. This is the area that's the highest, and henceforth, look at the RSIs. As it's making these moves, okay, it's just kind of petering out, and this is going to be a big tell. Is it going to go up to 95? Well, the analysts are saying, hey, look, we think this is going to go to 98. And whenever you have the analysts raising target prices into a weak market and into a crowded market, we believe this is crowded, and we'll go over why I think MRNA has the weakest position. But regardless, we need to basically in the next 24 hours or so, if it even pops up here, at this level, you need to short the crap out of this, okay? But anyways, there are some buy volumes, but overall, we're not seeing these type of gigantic buying activity if, in fact, mRNA is very, very close to releasing something that's going to be adding to their revenue, right? This is a company that is losing money hand over fist. Not only that, when you look at the commodity channel index, I know the MACD is fairly bullish, but we think we're going to probably see a MACD death hook forming shortly. When you look at the commodity channel index, basically this stock, as the stock is selling off, is literally overbought at this point, okay? And so generally, when you see these levels at these extreme levels, point being in July, I mean, that was really extreme. That led to these sharp sell-offs. And then right here, same thing, sharp sell-offs. We think a sharp sell-off down to the lower band of the Bollinger Band. This is where these Moderna will go, from the top end to the bottom end. Okay, so, and I just circled near the 64.25 level. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly tells you a very interesting tale. There is a divergence in the RSI right here. And then obviously this is the level. It's making a nice little cup formation. Okay, again, it could pop and then drop. So this is somewhere that we think that we need to wait for this type of price action, but it is very possible that it starts to sell off, especially if the market turns ugly and if there is other competing news from other agencies. Okay, and like I said, I will go over why mRNA Moderna is not the front runner choice. It's basically their technology. But we think 98 is the major resistance. Is it going to get there? I'm not sure. I mean, I think this thing could crater probably today or tomorrow, within the next 2 or 3 days, or any day now, right? MACD is ready to make a bullish cross or fail, and accumulation uptrend is broken. So what does that mean? Here's the accumulation and distribution. And so these are the levels at which we drew a trend line. And basically, it was riding along that trend line and it broke. And now we think that there's a massive selling, probably from the institutional holdings too. This COVID is not going to be around forever, okay? And my guess is that there is also therapeutics, and there are much more cost-effective items that can help this. But regardless, mRNA is not the one, okay? And I'll go over why that is. Let's look at Pfizer, because I know that Pfizer popped, and if this news about their vaccine trials and everything else, those are just optics. It is not a game changer. Okay, how many have you heard about Novartis and all of these people going, oh yeah, we have a new flu virus vaccine for next year? You don't see them popping on that. This will become the same thing, and I think COVID vaccine will also become commoditized shortly. But regardless, Pfizer is not a big heavy-duty mover. I mean, if you saw this thing move like $3 or $5 probably in the 1 year, I mean, you consider that being lucky. I mean, look at it from the market crash in March, okay, February to March. I mean, it was at 38 and it finished at 27. That's hardly any big move. And so when it moves from 38 to 41, okay, everybody goes, they get crazy and go, oh my God, it's going to break out. But look what happened. We got a black candle. It basically was a non-event. Okay. There's an RSI divergence. There's a MACD non-supportive price action, right? There's nothing popping up like this. You know, upper Bollinger Bands breached, like all stocks that I'm telling you about, and it basically comes in. I think Pfizer has a lot further to fall, at least down to this level. Because Pfizer really hasn't done anything for the last 10 years, really. I don't think it's done anything since they acquired Warner Lambert and got the Lipitor. I mean, I think that's really, I mean, this is such a boring stock, okay? The virus vaccine is not a game changer news, okay? We're going to sell the news scenario, and we're going to do that with Moderna too. And we believe there's going to be a significant, probably a market correction right around the corner, okay? And I'm not going to mention the presidential election race, but you know, there's more than meets the eyes there. Okay, so here's my take and our take at 13 Market Move. Just play it as a standard technical analysis play. Moderna and Pfizer is overstretched and extended, and it's hitting the upper band of the Bollinger Band. Okay, if you don't understand that, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you want to learn more, you want to learn about, well, what should I do? What kind of options should I buy? Click the link below, schedule a 20-minute consultation with our traders. Okay. Now, the thing that gives me pause is that there seems to be massive insider selling at key technical levels, as we talked about, as it breaches that Bollinger Band level within days of each other. Okay, well, I don't know if you guys know, I have a PhD in molecular genetics. Okay, and don't ask me just how I got into this situation. My passion is in equities, however. The concept of using synthetic mRNA to translate or produce antibodies, which are proteins that targets viruses, is highly flawed in a sense that mRNA is a very unstable molecule. Okay, messenger RNA is basically a byproduct from your DNA to produce proteins, but mRNA, that's why their ticker symbol is mRNA, by the way, is highly unstable because it is susceptible to an enzyme called RNase, okay, RNase, okay? And those are degradation enzyme that is present because our body has natural enzymes in our saliva and our bodily fluids just constantly. You sneeze at it wrong and this thing denatures, okay? And they don't really have a technology to deliver that in mass. And so therein lies their problem also. You heard it here first. So maybe within a year, if the stock goes to $20, you remember my name, please. This is why you never heard Trump touting Moderna, okay? Instead, he was talking about Regeneron, their therapeutics, okay, instead of the vaccines. You've heard this before, and this is the reason why. And also, Pfizer is also a good example how the vaccine development is not a game changer. It's just a news, and it just people get excited. And guess what? The insiders are selling it all the way to the bank, and probably these analysts too. I find that hard to believe that the analysts think that the next quarter, which is way out in February, is going to be huge. I don't think mRNA is even going to be a player in this shortly. It's just a startup biotech with a really cool technology that's not ready for prime time. So, I want you to do this. I want you to short the pop as shown in the technicals within the next 4 hours and be patient. A big drop is coming in this stock, okay? And if you don't understand, pause this video and go back to my technical analysis page and then pay attention to that upper band of the Bollinger Band. Okay, so this is 13 Market Moves take. My name is Brandon. I'm part of 13 Market Moves. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you make a ton of money. Let's roll.
Let's trade!